Greetings my friends, how are you doing? This is Zed from Zed Outdoors. I hope you're having an awesome day. So today I'm with a very good friend of mine, Martin Hazell. Martin, how are you doing?
Yeah, I do, mate, yeah.
Excellent stuff. So this is probably the first time you see Martin on video, especially here on my channel. Martin's a very good friend of mine. We met a couple of years ago and within the kind of spoon woodworking fraternity. And Martin, even though he's too humble to admit it himself, is a very, very talented craftsman. A very good spoon carver, a very good green woodworker, a very good basket maker, very good everything. Now he's based here in beautiful West Dorset. Now I came down there early this morning. I'm spending about 2-3 days with Martin working on various projects. Another friend of ours is visiting Lee Stoffer, whom you would have seen in previous videos. Now we're here to do a multiple variety of things with Martin. Like I said, Martin, we're here at his workshop, which we'll do a very quick tour in a second. Now the purpose of this video is, as I was looking through the multiple wares that Martin has, he does some beautiful work, which we're going to show a close-up in a second. But he actually made a toggle out of elder.
Yeah, out of elder.
Elder. And I thought it was actually a toggle that he bought from somewhere, just to kind of add on. But he goes, no, I made it from elder. So what we're going to do is very kindly going to take some time out in this video to do a demonstration of how you can make that yourself, be you out wild camping or doing crafts work or whatever. Just before we dive into that, Martin, once again, thank you for having me.
Pleasure. It's great to have you here, Zed.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day here in Dorset. It's stunning, stunning weather. Do you want to spend just about 20-30 seconds explaining kind of you and your background, what it is you do?
Yeah, okay. 20-30 seconds. I call myself a basket maker, really. That's kind of what I trained to do.
Which you can see behind.
Yeah. 20 years ago I trained to make baskets with a friend of mine, Ted Bruce, a really good basket maker from the Welsh borders, and I spent 10 years running a basket workshop for adults with learning difficulties on the outskirts of London. But also running in sort of parallel with that, going back way back to when I was a child. I've always whittled things with a knife. You know? I think I first got a knife when I was about 10 or 11. Right. So I always carved things, and accidentally started carving spoons about 25 years ago. Wow. Before I was going to say before electricity, but before certainly. Yeah.
He's not that old.
No. Yeah, I made a spoon for Noah. I was on the ark and stuff. Yeah,
that was it. I thought you weren't familiar.
He threw it overboard. Yeah, it wasn't good enough.
That's it. You never made two of them, that's the problem.
Yeah. So spoon carving, I make a little bit of furniture, well, what I call furniture. Other people call it firewood, but no, I make, so this bench was sat onto one of my creations. Oh, wow. Hurdles, I make hurdles, make a mess. Yeah, that sort of stuff.
I think we all make a mess doing classwork. But no, Martin's been very humble, and I'll say it on his behalf because, you know, I know Martin very well, and honestly, he's one of the most talented, one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. Fantastic, very, very skilled at what he does, and yeah, you've got a wealth of experience. You're way, way more than I have, and it shows in the quality of your work.
Oh, that's kind of you. Thank you.
So it's very, thank you once again, for inviting me down. If okay with you, I was just thinking, just a very quick pan around of the workshop.
Sure,
would that be okay?
I could go for it. Yeah.
And then what we could do a quick close-up of the actual toggle that we're going to demonstrate in this video. So let's just have a quick pan around. So here we've got a power lathe. This is run by your brother, isn't it?
That's right, John. Yeah.
Yeah, so his brother John, very talented turner. So here we've got some of his work. Just a small sample of his beautiful work that he does. So what's this over here in the actual baskets? The wood stand?
These are gate hurdles, but these are before they're put together. So sweet chestnut's been split and shaved to size on a shave horse with a draw knife, ready for going together as gate hurdles, which are for keeping sheep in, really.
Oh wow!
But mostly we sell them for gardens now.
And so here you've got some of the very few baskets that you've made, and some incredible work here.
Yeah, mostly shopping baskets and log baskets is what I make.
Moving forward, depending when you're watching this video, I want to be coming back down to visit Martin. We're going to do some basket tutorials, so that should be fun. Here we go. Is this wood that's been seasoned?
Yeah, we tend to the wood that John turns. It's all wood that we harvested ourselves over the years and months, and we harvest a lot of stuff locally from farms around and about, farm woodlands, and this is just part of our rather large collection of timber. So this is stuff that's all sort of getting to the point of being cut up for projects, so it's in here just seasoning
Gotcha.
further.
And here we go. You can't have a workshop with some busted up armchairs. And actually these are really comfortable, you know.
Yeah, too comfortable.
Yeah, no, I thought we spent half the day just sitting on those. So we've got some stuff over here. We've got some, is this actually working then? This?
Yeah, we have that going in the winter. Yeah, it's a bit kind of bodged up there, you know, smokes a bit, but you know, get a kettle on that, you're laughing.
Excellent stuff. So the video at hand, we're looking at elder beads. So these are a couple of examples here. So we've got them attached to your cookers, and these are ones that you've carved, isn't it?
That's right, yeah, these are both elder. You just carved as little toggles to finish off the lanyard, you know.
And with the cookers, you carve these what, out of burl?
Yeah, these are both out of burr. So this one here is alder burr. This one here was given to me by a friend from the US. This is a plant called redbud.
Oh, right, I've not heard of that.
No, I had not heard of it, but a friend, Philip Steele, from Indiana, brought it over last year for me. He had a friend who was taking a tree down, a little redbud tree, and brought me a burl over in his luggage. You know, which is nice. Yeah.
And finally, we've got the burr cookser here, haven't we?
Yeah,
the tiny one.
That's a little tiny cookser in wych elm burr, with these beads on in elder, and they're dyed with natural dyes. And
this is what impressed me. This is the first thing you showed. I honestly thought these were kind of off the shelf type beads, and then when you said no, you've actually made these from elder.
Yeah,
that's what I was very, very impressed with. Yeah. So if okay with you, Mike, shall we go straight into the tutorial?
Let's do it.
So here we've got an elder, we're just taking a piece off. So Martin, where do we begin then?
Okay, so this is elder. This time of year it's got berries on it. If you take some elder, you should mentally make a sort of prayer or an offering or something, because there's all sorts of traditions associated with elder as a sacred plant. So even if you're not a sacred believer yourself, I think it's good to do that, you know, to reverence that kind of ancient tradition. I've just taken a sort of small branch off there, and off there or further down I've taken that sort of size branch. You can see the relationship between, say, my thumb and that branch. We're looking for something fairly small, and then once I've cut through it, I'm looking to see how much pith there is in the middle.
Okay.
Pith being the soft bit in the middle, and I don't want it to be very big. That's a bit of a vague term, but sometimes you'll cut some elder and you'll find the pith forms more than half of the centre, and that's going to be too soft. And this pith runs through elder right up to adult trees, and it's one of the reasons it's such a good timber for making beads, because of this pith.
And then it's a little bit unique, isn't it? Because obviously most piths are quite hard, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, and it's remains very spongy. I'll use this. This is my secret weapon, and you'll see that, you know, you can poke that in there, stick it on a stick, you know, which is part of the secret to carving these beads. Okay, shall I crack on with
Let's do it.
Let's use this thicker end, and I'm using quite a small knife. It's a Nick Westerman blade, a little knife. I'm going to take the bark off first, and I'm going into the wood itself. And you know, you could at this stage think quite early on about, you want to make a round bead or a round toggle or an octagonal one, or just see how it turns out. Make sure you take all the bark off.
Because that will naturally peel off anyway, wouldn't it?
It will. It'll sort of fall off, but make sure you get it all off. And then, if let's say we're going to make a bead, a circular-ish bead, imagine the top of that stick as the one side of the bead, if you like. And what I'm going to do is carve it circular, but I'm going to start by just taking off facets like that. I'm doing this thumb push thing that you might be familiar with if you're a spoon carver. just pushing with my thumb, which gives me a fair bit of control.
If you notice, Martin, the whole time he's got it braced. It's a very safe cutting technique.
Yeah. If you hold at least one of your hands on your thigh, on your leg, rather than in the air, it saves a lot of energy. I'm actually keeping the knife still and moving the work here, which is often easier. So I'm just moving it around, trying to get a nice shape. Once I'm sort of reasonably happy with that bit, which is, as I say, half of it, I'm going to sort of imagine where I've started carving from, a little bit below there. I'm going to start cutting back down into the wood to form the bottom half. So you've got to be a bit careful here. So I often brace that against my thumb. I'm not pressing very hard here, but I'm going to sort of carve down there like that. So I'm putting cuts in that are sort of going to start to form the bottom of the bead. If you see what I mean. I'm only making little movements with the knife. Then I'm going to follow that by coming back in with a thumb push and cutting that material away, freeing it up a bit. You hear it sort of going through the repeat that process and just try and cut away a little bit more. As I say, just be careful of this cutting towards you thing. So I'm carrying on and working my way around, and eventually we're going to cut it so that it'll come away.
So essentially you're just beavering away, aren't you?
Beavering away at it. But I'm not worrying too much what that top bit looks like, or bottom bit. You'll see why in a minute. I'll get to the point where I can break it off. I don't want to force it off because we don't want to crack it. It's a bit of an irregular shape at the moment, but we can make it rounder, as you'll see. There we are. So let's just come away, and there's the pith in the middle. Let's put that bit down. Now this is my secret weapon. You have to promise not to tell anybody about this. This is
you, me, and all the YouTube subscribers.
Yeah, they've got a sworn to secrecy. It's a bamboo kebab skewer, and I stick it on there like that, which gives me the ability to I flip the whole thing upside down. Means I can now, and you could use a stick, a bit of willow. Means I can come back. That's the bit I've just been working on. It means I can cut into that skewer, if you like.
That's smart, because I was wondering as you were doing it, I thought you had to hold on to that on its own.
I'm also going to turn it end on end and look at it, so you can see it's a bit irregular there. I want to just clean up that edge. We've lost a little bit there, so I'm just going to turn it round, do a little bit of minor surgery on it outside. Okay, so I'm just sort of touching up the shape a little bit, but I would say that's more or less done. And then what I'm going to do, just put a knife down there. Just going to make sure I poke out as much of that pith as I can with that end there. This is when, of course, I drop the thing and then can't find it. Yeah, I would say that's. I'm just going to blow that pith out. Excuse me. Poke it out, blow it out, get it out, and then stick that in stick it in a bowl somewhere to dry.
So you would leave this to dry then for a bit then?
Yeah, it'll be dry in a day. It's such a tiny little thing. Could be dried overnight, and then I often colour them. So this stuff, I I can't remember what the green was, but the red is the food colour cochineal, which is
Right.
made out of a beetle. And the brown, a lot of which is worn off, there's a bit of brown, that is walnut husk,
Oh wow. Nice.
which you can get from the green outside of walnuts.
Right.
And you can do sort of fancy bits like this. Here I've cut a little line in a long toggle there, long bead. Cut a little line in that. You know, you've got round ones, you've got long ones, got round, you know, and yeah, you know, you can have a good old play. And it's the sort of thing, if you've got a bit of stick and a knife and you find a bit of elder, you can sit there and have a peaceful hour just carving a few beads, you know.
Because a lot of the guys that watch this, including myself, are kind of more bushcraft out.
Yeah, sure.
So doing the thing outside.
Yeah. And then, you know, after 4 or 5 years, you've got enough for a necklace.
Yeah, that's it. Especially at my rate, give it about another 5 after that.
But I see, you know, sometimes it's a nice thing to do. Sometimes if I'm not up to making a basket or carving a spoon, I think, well, I'll just chop a lump of elder off, make a little prayer offering to the elder mother, and chop a lump off, whack a few beads out, you know, cup of tea.
That's it.
Bob's your father's brother.
That's it. And Mildred's your aunt.
Yeah.
Who you thought was your aunt, but
well,
it turns out later she was just a...
She was just the woman next door, wasn't she?
She was just a woman next door who
Yeah.
just came out for sugar and just...
How is she, by the way?
She's all right. She's not too bad.
That's nice. That's nice. 9 o'clock or something like that.
So there you go, guys. That was a tutorial and also an introduction to Martin. Martin, thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure, Zed.
Thank you so much. I told you he's a talented guy.
Yeah.
Stuff, man, seriously. But no, thank you once again. It's something that's opened my eyes up. As soon as I saw it, I thought, wow, those bees look really cool. So it's definitely, I want to be trying this myself when I get back. So I appreciate you watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Something for you now to go out and try out if elder is available to you. And actually, just before I sign off, a quick question: are there any alternatives to elder that people could use?
There are other ones I've used. I think I've used in the past Mahonia.
I've not heard of that.
Mahonia, Oregon grape, it's sometimes called.
Okay.
That's a garden shrub.
Mm-hmm.
What else might I have used? There are 1 or 2 Forsythia, which is also a garden shrub, which has a pith in it.
Right.
That might be worth looking at. They're a bit harder, Forsythia.
Okay.
But I would say elder's your favourite. I mean, you could use almost any wood and drill a hole in the middle.
Right.
The advantage of elder is it's got
soft.
that hole that Mother Nature put there.
Yeah.
You know, and I think, you know, whoever designed the universe was thinking, this is a bead tree, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's got to be.
That's it. It's going to end up on some bloke in Dorset's cooks them. Yeah. And that's it. Why not? And this is before the dawn of mankind and before the evolution of the Big Bang.
Yeah.
And so, there you go. So, like I said, thank you once again, Martin.
Pleasure.
And so, without further ado, here's one thing I would ask you to do is Martin and his wife and also his brother, they've set up their own Instagram profile where they're sharing collaboratively all the beautiful work that they created. It would mean the world to me if you go and check that out. I'm going to put a link to their Instagram below in the description, just below this video. I'm also going to put a link to their website. You can find out a lot more about their work, what it is they do, and everything else that goes around it. Once again, I highly recommend you check that out also. So, Instagram below, pointing to Martin, and also their website as well, where you can find out more about their work. I hope you enjoyed the video. Once again, best of luck. Let me know how you get on. Maybe try this yourself. And as always, I hope whatever you're doing, you have a blessed day, a blessed week ahead. This is Ed from Zed Outdoors and from Martin. Peace out.
Cheers.